Welcome back, and it's the return of Gimme Goosebumps. I'm sorry it's been a while, but I've had like a Tubas High Score Challenge tournament on and a few other things. But we are back, guys, with a book number 4 of Goosebumps, and it is Curse of the Mummy's Room. Oh, Curse of the Mummy's Room. See, it's been that long, I'm making mistakes already. Curse of the Mummy's Room? Really? Right. Roll titles, let's get on with it, go. Right, should we try that one again? We are back with The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. And guys, check out the artwork on this. So the book 4 by R.L. Stein. So there's the mummy going, woo. It's a good impression. Let's see it again. Woo. And the synopsis goes like this, guys. Gabe and his know-it-all cousin Sari can't to explore the pyramids of Egypt with his favourite uncle, an archaeologist, as their personal guide. It'll be really cool. But Gabe never realised how big pyramids are, or how many hundreds of tunnels they have. It's too easy to get lost and end up face to face with an ancient mummy. Dun dun dun. But Gabe isn't that scared. After all, there isn't really any such thing as the curse of the mummy's tomb, is there? Well, according to the Goosebumps book, there is. In fact, we all know the story about curses of mummy's tombs, Tutankhamun, all that stuff. And, well, first of all, I'll say it again. I love the graphics on that cover. When you're a kid, I've said this in every video, you're going to pick that up off the shelf. Now, when it comes to stories about mummies, I'm not really that into them. And I think the reason for this is the same with vampires and werewolves, is because they're a common monster. So I like reading new things and stuff like that, you know? But I've never been big into Egypt or curses, mummies, pyramids, sphinxes. Did I say that right? Sphinx, stuff like that. Although when I was a kid, yeah, I did enjoy reading this book. And before I go on as well, a few people are asking, these Gimme Goosebumps videos, what are they? Are they a book review? Are they an episode review? It's basically me just talking about a series I absolutely loved as a kid. You know, the Goosebumps books and the episodes as well. Basically like an overview. And yeah, so because these monsters are so common, guys, yeah, I think it's because I like new things, not things I'm used to, and stuff like that, you know? So, yeah, this is a story about Gabe going on his adventures with his uncle and his cousin. And I'm sorry, but there aren't any video clips to include with this episode of Give Me Goosebumps because there isn't an episode to correspond to. Now, you're probably thinking, well, wait a minute. Yeah, there is. I remember watching an episode of The Mummy. However, that was about book 20, I think, and it was called Return of the Mummy. So that's actually the sequel to this book. So I don't know why there isn't an episode for Curse in the Mummy's Tomb. I think there is an episode for Night of the Living Dummy 1 as well. I think they've done Night of the Living Dummy 2 and 3 and so on. But apparently there's no Night of the Living Dummy 1. But this isn't Night of the Living Dummy. Slappy and all. This is Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. So, seeing as there isn't any video footage, guys, I have decided to do some research into mummies. And, well, here you go. Take a look.
Mummification is a process in which the skin and flesh of a corpse can be preserved. In ancient Egypt, many Egyptians believed in an afterlife that could only be obtained through this method. They believed that by mummifying a body, the soul of the deceased could return and reside within. There are two parts to this process. The first was the embalming of the body. This involved removing the human body of its internal organs. Only the heart was left. This was because it was believed that the heart was the life and being of the deceased, and would testify for that person in the afterlife. A scarab would often be placed over the heart to protect it during its journey to the other side. The brain would be removed with a long hook tool that would be inserted up the deceased's nose to scrape the brain and pull it out. The next step would be to dehydrate the body. This was done by using natron salts which would cover the body and organs to dry them out. The final process would be to wrap the body in linen. The linens around the head area would be steeped in resins to make it look darker than the rest of the body. Fake eyes would sometimes be placed on the head too.
You know what, guys? After doing that research, I think I've changed my mind. Okay, so you see stories about mummies all the time, and it's just a matter of time before like a horror writer gets into the mummy franchise. I've got another book called The Mummy somewhere in the house when I was a kid. I actually wouldn't mind going to Egypt and looking at these tombs and the pyramids. I think it'd be quite interesting. I've seen mummified bodies before, whether it be in like a museum or the catacombs. I've been in the catacombs in Italy. I think it was Rome, or was it Milan? One of them. And that was quite interesting, going underground and seeing them all and all the skulls in the wall and everything. Some people would find that really spooky and stuff, but after you've spent a childhood reading Goosebumps and you get used to horror stuff, you're not really that bothered by it anymore. At least in my case. Have guys. So following on from the research, I found a paragraph here I want to read from page 90. I realised I had made an incredible discovery here. By falling through the floor, I had found a hidden chamber. A chamber where mummies had been made. Ooh. I had found all of the tools and all of the materials used to make mummies 4,000 years ago. Once again, the sour smell invaded my nose. I held my breath to keep myself from gagging. It was the smell of 4,000-year bodies, I realized. A smell that had been bottled up in this ancient hidden chamber until now. Ooh. Gotta imagine the smell might be pretty bad. But it's pretty good how they preserve those bodies all these years, In fact, you know what? I might not wait for book training. I might go ahead and go and watch that Goosebumps episode right now. But yeah, so if you want to find out what Gabe gets up to in that book and what's involved, of course, it's about a mummy, you know that, and it's in a pyramid. I recommend you go pick it up. You can buy these books quite cheap these days. I'm going for a full collection, but I'm buying them as I go along. And yeah, guys, that is it for Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. I think Monster Blood is next. No. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's Monster Blood, and I think it's Let's Get Invisible, which I've never read. So that'll be interesting. So guys, thank you once again for watching, and remember, viewer beware, you're in for a scare.
Actually, it would be pretty scary if this guy came back to life. See you next time.